Yep. So Oliveza versus SirAllgamer. Looks like it's India versus, and I don't actually remember the last British.
Brit. So I'm going to be kind of rooting for Brit here, just because a little bias and civilizations.
Did we happen to let the other players know that we were going to go into this one, or did we forget?
You know, I didn't take the liberty to.
Okay, Comet K, I know you're still around. Let those players know. We don't want to confuse them too much.
Sure.
Thanks very much.
Maybe they can tune into the series as well. So, all right. Looks like it's a coin start. Not great for India, but what's great is that nice in-base 50 wood he's going to be picking up and using his explorer to scout, pick up the yaks. 55 coin here in base for SirAllgamer, which means he can go for market if he wants to as Brit, which is kind of fun.
Doing a quick hunt count again.
Oh yeah.
So 1, 2, a little bit far, a little bit better for red, I think.
Yeah, let's
go a rehost, or
no. I think it's fair. Yeah, it's fair.
Okay.
So Blue is missing that hunt behind his base, but he has another hunt in front of it that's pretty close. So.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it looks like I think the split map is even. Just hunts are slightly farther away from blue. But okay. So we saw this map once before today, and we saw the different trading post spawns. You saw the two for each player, their respective sides. Now we have the 3 that runs across the map. I don't know if it's going to be as relevant here as it was in the last series between Wukul and Lucas, where Wukul was playing the Ottomans, and so the trading post line does have some relevance. I think neither British nor India tends to really need a trading post. They tend to, they aren't going to complain if they have one, but it's not something that they often actively seek out. So I'm not sure that's going to be too relevant here, but we do see a nice wood treasure getting picked up.
Yeah, that's a nice deal from Oliveza, and SirAllgamer generally, when you are fighting treasures, you do want to sort of kind of like kite that treasure guardian back in as he lowers HP, so that you can see if the enemy explorer is awaiting it and to contend it if he is there. And already we see a forward villager come out of red, so this isn't a 10-10, but I think he just wants to get his villager out there for what will be the forward aggro. And also he picks up 2 yaks, by the way. So if we look at all units, the yak count is 10-0 right now for red. He has found every single yak except for 2.
Oh wow,
that's pretty impressive. That's a good start. And also he stole that 85 wood, and he got 50 wood in base, and there's another wood treasure here that he will scout. Yeah, India looks to be winning age 1.
I think that's an accurate assessment. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be taking this 90 wood treasure right away too, and I don't think SirAllgamer is in a position to take a contest here. I think he did see the red villager out here on the middle of the map, but I don't know if he's going to ignore it or if he's going to try to do some sort of trick. One of the problems against India is that even if you do get rid of the forward aggro villager, either by killing it or just by making it run away with Minutemen, the aggro still goes up. You don't really get to stop it. You get to slow it down maybe, but...
Yeah. I'm a fan of calling Minutemen on these sort of circumstances just because I think it's fun.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not necessary. You're gonna really miss those 6 Minutemen when there are like 15 sepoys in your base, and like
yeah,
all you have is longbowmen, and like this 4 Soyars come in, and like crud. So yeah, probably a good idea to hang on to them. But I think whenever I play Give You Anxiety, I just like preemptively call 6 Minutemen at like 3 minutes no matter what, and just like hopefully I kills the villagers at the aggro, or like maybe I kills the explorers, but I don't know.
I would expect it not to work too well to call them Minutemen. I mean, killing a villager is nice. It's always great. If killing 2 villagers is phenomenal.
Even better.
But you do kind of need those Minutemen at some point.
Yeah.
So we see, the SirAllgamer, he is going for a pretty standard age up play. It looks like he's going to be aging up in a decent amount of time, and he has a couple of manors in place. I think it would be nice to see actually this manor moved up in line with the other 2. it's a little bit of a better, more easily defensible position that would be helpful against a pretty aggressive aggro. These are some of the small things that definitely separate like good players from really good ones, where you can have these small positional advantages that will help protect you. We see a 500 500 food age up.
That's okay.
Okay.
It's a matter of preference. So 500 food is actually technically like the better deal, right? Rather than just 200 coin and the tower. Yeah, I saw that.
Oh dear.
The line was almost dead, but he's just squatting.
Yeah.
You kind of don't really want to lose your... Ideally, you want your elephants to be pretty high HP if you're going to do some sort of aggressive play. But anyways, back to the British age up. The wood is on paper the better value.
Mm-hmm.
The tower can be helpful if your opponent is always fighting under it, and if you do face some sort of aggressive sepoy rush. But it's just... I don't know. Good speed is a huge proponent of 500 food in like almost all cases. I think I am too now. I used to be a tower and coin person, but it's really personal preference. So it's up to you.
Okay. I can see 500 food, especially against a relatively slow age up from the Indian player. Against a 10-10, I don't think my micro is good enough to be comfortable not going for the tower age up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also in this matchup is something you can think about. Doing like longbow walls, not crazy walls, but I mean just like a few good segments can help out a lot. But instead, Brit has sort of gone for this musketeer start, which
oh dear,
it looks like it's not working.
Alright, so if you're playing India right now, this feels great. If you're playing British right now, this feels terrible.
Pretty good. You've killed 4 villagers.
Yeah.
You're feeling pretty good. So another batch of musketeers out, but it's not enough. And yeah, India can just pretty much do what they want to do from here on out. They have 11 yaks. Hell, you could just plop down 3 trading posts and go stagecoach probably if you want.
He does have the economic lead at this point. We do see some mainers going up, so I think that this will be recovered mostly by SirAllgamer. But definitely those 4 villagers is a big swing early on in the game. I think it's really satisfying when you have a bunch of musketeers or skirmishers and you just one-shot a villager. It's it's a really nice feeling to get.
For sure. Maybe some sort of great musketeer pop can really help right here.
Yeah. Well, there was 5. And
I mean, starting musketeers against sepoy aggression is not necessarily unheard of, or like super bad, but I think you want to get the second racks up a little sooner. You kind of have to go for like a 700 coin build, I think, and if you age with 500 food. But musketeers is definitely more natural to defend the sepoy rush than like longbowmen, as counterintuitive as that sounds, because longbows can't kite. Longbows really have a hard time dealing with these high HP Indian elephant explorers, and they are very susceptible to the 4-SOAR push. And so musketeers, I mean, they actually like trade pretty decent with sepoys, especially EP sepoys, and it's just not as awkward. Like longbowmen, you really have to be skilled in like your building placement, micro, calling Minutemen at the right time, etc. But starting musketeers, I think, can be okay, and then you can add longbowmen later on to deal with the Gurkhas that India will add, like they're doing right now.
Definitely, yeah. I think my thought with the longbowmen versus musketeer question pretty much echoes yours. If you're playing with musketeers, it's really hard to screw it up, right? You're never going to take a terrible trade, whereas with longbowmen, it's really easy to accidentally say, oh, they have 4 SOARs, I guess I lose. And that's it. So, looks like
the stunned Mongol riders.
Yeah,
not going to escape with this slide.
Oh no!
And he's picking that up. It's cavalry siege though is like really a completely irrelevant treasure.
That's my thought. It's nice to have,
okay.
But it's probably not going to do very much.
Neither player has any cavalry, although India has dropped their stable building, so
right.
Could see some stuff here pretty soon, but cavalry don't really have much siege anyways.
Yeah, then 10% on it.
That's okay.
Not going to be too much, but yeah.
So like a more relevant treasure would have been the same amount of guardians for.
Oh, that's
You know,
that's the
that's
one.
Good.
Yeah, that's the one that I really like to see when I can. There's a few treasures that are, and actually it's interesting. Some of these really big treasures that you can take if you remember that they're there. Because I think a lot of players
Yeah.
will just forget after age 1 or maybe early age 2 that there are treasures on the map that are actually takeable. And some of them are actually way powerful, like that one.
Yeah, it's super helpful. And we see this on the RE map, Mongolia, I think, right? The one with the trading post runs on the top of the map.
Oh,
there
yeah.
are lots of yaks, and you have that starting scout treasure in your base.
Yeah,
NTC.
yeah.
So there are lots of super powerful treasures in the south of that map, which you can only get when you have an army, but which are like super good. Can be like a free stable or something else.
Right. So a few more villagers going down, unfortunately, for SirAllgamer. That's another 3. He did.
Yeah, but Blue's got quite this musketeer mass.
It's true.
If we look at shipments sent, no upgrades have been sent on them yet, but unless Red is really careful to kite with these Gurkhas, I mean, musketeers are a scary unit, and Blue could see this villager right here. We'll see if he does.
Oh, I see. Yeah. We did see him lose a villager there, but actually, yeah, there's a few chances, a couple of Seaboy getting picked off. I saw a couple of Gurkha getting picked off earlier. Oliveza just doesn't have that many units.
He really doesn't. He's got about 10 Zams idle at his stable. Not enough Gurkhas. He does have some Gurkhas. He just really has to be conscious of kiting, and Blue has to be doing a little bit of better job of getting his units actually in there. We've seen this Zambarak in base. It just died, but it's been basically shooting at this villager for like 60 seconds, and the villager's only like half HP. Alright, so finally this villager's falling by Red here. Just gathering in enemy lines for a little too long.
It's still a pretty substantial lead for Oliveza in terms of the economic unit population, though. I wonder what SirAllgamer should be doing. He has a few more manors. He's got 130 mana pop right now, so he can make another 8 manors, which would equalize, but that is a lot of wood that he has to be spending.
Yeah,
So,
that's a lot of wood. You kind of want to go for like, you kind of want to chop for the mana advantage either early on in the game or after you've sort of gotten a good trade or something.
Mhm.
Something that you can afford to invest as resources into like a longer term outcome. But actually interesting that we see India building this SirCallen temple.
Now I have to go look at this deck, but okay, nothing native related in the deck.
Yeah, they do have sort of a nice eco upgrade. For 200 food and 200 coin, your villager wood gathering goes up by 20%.
I see.
So
that's
like
pretty nice.
significant.
Yeah.
That's like amalgamation for wood cutting, which we know India uses a lot of wood, but they also get those nice trickles, so they don't necessarily have to chop a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah, India is interesting because they do need a lot of wood early game, but most of their important units cost coin and food. I'm thinking in age 2, the Steepway, Gurkha, Zam, and so are all food gold units, and then I think Mahut Lancers are wood costing, but that's really the only one in age 3. And then there's just like those units you never make that cost wood, but so it's an interesting sip in that respect. You don't really need a lot of wood at some point.
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting game in the sense that normally we expect India to only make the musketeer type units and for Brit to make a more diverse composition. But here, Brit is only making the musketeers and India is making the diverse unit composition. But all these musketeers are soon to walk on like 7 villagers if Red doesn't notice. And at least 2 are falling here. If he can just recognize that he's hunting up top,
yeah,
that could actually be pretty good.
You might be able to get the villagers on the Wonder. I guess he's pulling off that. No, I think he's going to miss both of those, yeah.
I think maybe he wants to get out of here, but if he knew that India was aging up, honestly, the correct play here is just to walk in, I think. Kill more villagers, kill a couple of houses, and maybe force a trade while you yourself are sort of kind of chop some manners at home. I don't know, actually. He's in a pickle.
There were like 11 exposed villagers there, and I think he probably could have gotten all of 8 on the Wonder, another 8 up here, maybe 4 were on the side of the Wonder close to the town center, but that was easily like 11 villagers that he would have been able to pick up if he had split his army up a little bit. He probably didn't know that the Egypt was happening. He probably maybe is not scouted up here. So a little bit unlucky for him in some sense, that just not knowing that there was a lot of exposed villagers available.
Yeah, so we do see the first Musketeer upgrade card come in for the Brit player, Musketeer Tack. I think ideally he'd have both of them by now, maybe instead of 700 food, but still, so like these Musketeers are beefier, right? Once you get both colonial cards in, they are almost veteran Musketeers, which is significant because there are a crap ton of Musketeers, and you can only kite for so long. There are only so many Gurkhas here. And, oh, India's aging again, so...
Oh, wow. Where's that one there? Oh, I see it.
Yeah, so it's going down, and he's got 2 shipments, and if we look at his villager distribution, unsurprisingly, it's almost all on food. India, of course, wants to send their wonderful Age 4 Urumi cards, which will just decimate colonial musts.
I see.
Especially if he saves up 2 batches to go in at the same time.
So I was wondering, like, why is Oliveza stacking this shipment, and I guess now, why is he stacking these 2 shipments? Now I understand. He was stacking them to send Urumi cards.
So,
and it looks like they're going to be coming.
I don't know. I mean, Blue kind of might not be aware of this. It's easy for us as casters to have this sort of information available, but okay, so now he's just scouted the age up. What do? Honestly, when you're H2 and your opponent is H4, you will lose the game if you still at stage 2. Like, that's just, it doesn't even matter how much damage you do, you're just so far behind.
Yeah.
I think Blue has the resources to age up if they sort of were macroed a little better. I think you go in with your Musketeers and, like, kill some houses while aging, and then, like, get the hell out of there, because you are going to die to a 10 Urumi pop, which is on the way, so... He is going back, which is a smart move, but I think he could have been a little bit more aggressive there. Just, you know, for like 15, 20 seconds before you know a shipment is coming.
I think, yeah, it seems like he's in a pretty bad position right now. I think it's hard to expect somebody to go to H4 right after they go to H3, especially if it's like 8 minutes, or it's like 15 minutes into the game. Like, if they go to H3 in 8 minutes, then okay, maybe they're going to go for an FI if you see H4 cards in their deck, but at this point you say, okay, why would you go to H4 right afterwards? And so I can't fault them for not expecting this, but these rumors are going to be really good, especially if another shipment of them comes in. Yeah,
and India is adding a second TC, and a third one here. This is almost Sampu-esque, where you go for these age 4 strategies with 3 TCs. It's kind of fun to watch. But SirAllgamer is aging up. I assume we'll see him hit that button for the Veteran Musketeer upgrade, and, you know, maybe ship 2 Falconets. So for people who don't know, Urumi actually get countered pretty heavily by Falconets.
I actually did not know. Yeah, I guess they do.
I mean, so like 2 Falcons will kill like 2 Urumi, like per volley or something, or like 3. I mean, it's kind of insane. But also, India's added this Mansubar Urumi, so these guys are beasts. Like 500 hit points, 30% range resist. I mean, goodness gracious, they are some scary units. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe,
I'm wondering what's keeping Oliveza from just going in right now. Like,
I think he wants to spend all of his shipments on Urumi before he goes. I think he might have one coming or something.
Okay, yeah, okay, looks like he does have one more shipment on the way.
Yeah, because he's only shipped 2, and he had 3 shipments available. But Blue can just go industrial right now. He has the resources, and he's just queued it. So.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm not so sure about this one. I think that...
Be scary timing. I actually think the decision to go up is okay, but you have to be careful here. He hasn't even queued veteran. Oh, he has queued it. Okay, so, but...
Okay, yeah, I think he'll need a few more buttons.
Go back. Oh, India's got C-Fire, he's gonna... Alright, there's just too many Urumi here. I mean, there's just too many Urumi. This isn't gonna be good.
Well, it'll be fun to watch.
No, put your Musketeers the other way.
Maybe stagger them as well?
He's a veteran. Alright, let's see how many plus 10s for red come out.
Ooh, wow, that's...
It's just... Oh, no. And the pathing isn't even good. I mean, these Urumi could be doing so much better, but...
Oh, my.
Alright, that's just GG. That was so many Urumi. That's like what Gibson does when he like gets on like a second loop Smurf and he plays like a Master Sergeant and just like only makes Urumi. GG,
that's too bad for SirAllgamer.
Yeah, that was a right click because SirAllgamer did some things right there, but at the end of the day, Urumi here gonna Urumi.
Age 4 Urumi, pretty good. You can see it in the military population. We went from 83 to 6.
That almost looks like he just selected all of his musketeers and just deleted them.
Yeah, the SirCallen special.
Yeah, that's a pretty sharp line. So that's game number 1. Oliveza takes it. So it's 1-0 in this best of 3. So we have at least another match coming.
Yep. I think as far as what could have been done from SirAllgamer's perspective, I'm thinking that probably should have been punishing the age ups a little bit more. Definitely shouldn't have allowed. What was it? 10 plus 9 plus 9 is 28 Urumi to come out. Or maybe it was 27 plus 1 in Sabdar. Regardless, it's a lot of Urumi. Almost as many Urumi as there were muskets in some sense. And probably should have tried to punish that a little bit more. But he did have some trouble in the early start. I mean, we saw Oliveza got a phenomenal age 1.
Yeah, kind of losing 4 villagers at 6
that
minutes
too,
is not ideal. But I'm going to Subway for just a minute. I'll be right back.
Subway? Wait. Did he just say he's going to Subway? I guess for those of you who aren't familiar with our American lingo, Subway is refers to both like the train system that runs underground, but it also refers to a chain of sandwich restaurants. And I don't know if SirCallen... I know SirCallen meant... or I don't know if SirCallen said Subway. That's what I heard. But I don't know what he's planning on doing here. Maybe he'll be back earlier. Maybe he didn't actually say Subway, and that's just what I heard. I'll let the players know that Oliveza is on the pick. Yes. Okay, looks like Oliveza will be picking the Ottomans. And
Okie dokie.
okay, so sorry, I have to ask, did you say step away or did you say subway?
Step away.
Okay, so I was very confused, and I spent like a minute talking about like the difference between American subway restaurants and Subway, the train that runs underground, and now I just look like a complete moron because you didn't even tell it at all.
Neither. So there's not a Subway in Seattle, nor do I have a Subway restaurant anywhere nearby. And if I did, it would not take just a minute. So
yeah. See, I said, come on, you can't go to Subway in a minute. This is gonna take like 10 minutes. We don't have time for this. But okay, good. So you can join the game.
I'm
there.
back.
Yep.
Yeah, I was trying to get some food though in the kitchen, but then the bread was moldy. So real bummer there. Yeah.
I got some bread.
All right, yeah. Let me join this game. I think you're waiting on me.
Yeah. So it's going to be Ottomans versus French.
Oh.
Oliveza on the Ottomans. Playing pretty aggressive civs here, but he wasn't too aggressive last game. But regardless, these are pretty aggressive. He might go for like some sort of a fast industrial, seeing what we saw last time.
Yeah, that's what came to my mind. It seems like he's not afraid to go to age 4 and kind of do those cheeky age 4 things, and Ottoman is definitely a civ that you can do that with, and Tibet is a map you can do that with.
Definitely. And I would be excited to see that. I like Ottoman F5s. One of my favorite strategies.
I know. You do, yeah. You have a bit of a history with them. It kind of dates back to like your cousin, right?
Yes, yeah. Back in 2008, shortly after I discovered the power of hit and run from skirmishers, I discovered the power of Ottoman fast industrials, where you send a lot of Spahi, and then I created the strategy, but then my cousin perfected it, and then discovered that it wasn't very good. But he did use it against Mito once in a game when Mito was playing Aztecs, and actually won that one after losing like 3 in a row. So
that's his claim to fame.
Yeah, it's
impressive.
Yeah, his other claim to fame is he once did like a he got onto this StarCraft caster show match, not show match, but like he was on ladder and he did like a 6-pool with Zerglings, and then lost horrendously in a very embarrassing way. And that video got like 30,000 views on YouTube. So everybody was like, wow, this guy sucks.
That's all right. I mean, some sort of, notice there at any rate. But so for this game, it's a coin start, which Ottoman doesn't really like, but which kind of helps out France when they go for that early market. Ottoman is laying down an early trading post, which actually on this map kind of sucks because you miss out on sort of the yak gathering and the treasure gathering. As we see, I mean, France is going to pick up this 85 wood. Well, should pick up the 85 wood, and he's actually gonna get these 2 yaks too. So yeah, if you're SirAllgamer, I think you want to pay just like a little bit more attention to the treasures on this map. And he's going for 80 coin, which is the same amount of guardians as 85 wood, and it's just not as good of a treasure. So that's just a little something to kind of pay attention to in Age 1.
Yeah, I think we can see he's chopping wood right now, and we would definitely prefer him to be just taking the 85 wood treasure instead of trying to chop for it. It makes a big difference in your age up time and everything like that.
Yeah, it does.
That's too bad. Regarding the trading post, what you were mentioning, actually, I think I agree that it's unfortunate when you have to make a trading post instead of getting all the yaks. It is also unfortunate if you were to go for ATP, you don't get the cheaper trading post, and you don't get the higher HP trading post. Your trading post kind of will go up to the higher HP, but it'll be destroyed a little bit. None of those are ideal, but I think that the correct decision if you're playing Ottomans is still to just start with the trading post. I don't think you're going to get any value out of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's something Ottoman just has to do. So it's just the nature of the beast. The things SirAllgamer's got going for him, he's got 7 yaks to Oliveza's 4. So 7 is approaching that number that you could think about building a livestock pen, which I love livestock pens. It just feels so good when they're all fat and you just like click 4 villages on there and your food income just goes up astronomically. Really good feeling. So I mean, I'll build a livestock pen for like 5 yaks. I'm not saying that's good, but 7, I think you can think about it.
I see. I would probably build livestock pens for yaks if yaks gave you gold. If eating them was actually like some sort of like selling them onto the market or like breeding yaks to sell.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Because I don't know, I always have too much food. I never have enough gold.
What if there was a card that sort of like boosted livestock rate? You know, it was like a good card in that sense, but also it changed their resource to gold. I wonder if you could use that in some sort of weird wonky mercenary strats.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know, it seems pretty niche though, so probably not good. But all right, so both players are aging up. Ottoman's got that typical quick age 2 time, but they aren't really hurting me. You know, I think I do like to see this hunt herded, especially on Tibet. You kind of have to be proactive about herding.
Yeah, hunts are very difficult to get into your base on Tibet.
Yeah. Same with the blue player. There's not really herding going on by either player, so we'll see how that might come into effect later on in the game.
Taking a look at Oliveza's deck, we actually do not see any Age 4 cards, unfortunately. We do see a pretty good Age 3 setup. There's a lot of things that he could send, so I could see an FF. We'd also see all 6 resource crates down in Age 2.
Yeah, so this is one of those Ottoman decks you really have no idea what they're going to do. Although, like you said, there aren't any Age 4 unit shipments, so that's probably out of the tables. But Jan Abis, Jan Tuss, you know, or into that FF play, you kind of have to scout Ottomans to know what's going on.
One of the things that makes Ottomans so strong is that they're just so hard to predict with what they're going to do. It takes forever to find out what strategy they're going to go with. And oftentimes it's too late because you have to respond in very different ways to the different strategies. So their FF and their colonial require completely different approaches, but it's hard to know which one they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Especially because, I mean, all the resources they gather in transition and they age up and all that is generally the same. So one nice thing I like SirAllgamer. Goodness, I don't know why I cannot say that. Well, he built his trading post on the TP line that Ottoman has 2 trading posts on. So Ottoman's not going to really want to get stagecoach for this like maybe he wanted to. And actually the red explorer, I think, was aggro into this trading post, like he wanted to build one, but then found out that it was already built. So
actually,
be really nice.
It's not great for Oliveza in some sense, because his explorer is on the other side of the map from where the trading posts are, and you see that he sent the Silk Road card, so he actually did have a trading post plan in mind, which is not going to be panning out too much, because 4 to 2 trading posts is probably still worthwhile, but he has to go run all the way over onto this other side of the map. He is going to be giving some value to his opponent here, and
yeah. So, is that a card that you can talk a bit about, Silk Road? Because I don't really know
sure.
Ottoman strategies.
So Silk Road is an interesting card because it has a lot of history behind it. It started off being a 30% card that you send in Age 2. And it got a little bit infamous due to a player named Ender Ward who said, okay, the Ottoman Rush is strong in and of itself, but it becomes even more powerful when you send the Silk Road card and use your trading posts and your crates that are boosted off Silk Road to just continuously send Janissaries into your opponent's base. And for a long time, everyone was saying the strategy is great. This was still on vanilla. Once the Asian Dynasties comes out, Silk Road gets nerfed into Oblivion from 30% to 15%, and basically becomes not worth sending. And say Goodspeed comes in and says, okay, we'll make it 25%, and we'll move it over to Age 1. And it didn't really get a lot of play on EP, but we still see it occasionally, I think.
Interesting. So that's an EP change, yeah?
Yes, EP moved it from 15% to 25%, and also to Age 1. So the Age 1, I'm not exactly sure how that pans out, because it's still like that awkward shipment where you don't really want to send it in place of 3 villagers, but it's hard to send another card in Age 1 because you kind of want to send just 7 of the wood instead.
Sure.
But yeah, it has value, and it's good because it both boosts your trading posts and your crates. So it's good with TP strategies.
Yeah. So as Duck said, it boosts your crates. When we say 25%, you get 25% more resources out of all your crates from then on out. Or if you have existing crates on the ground, I believe it also affects it, and it increases the experience that you get from each trading post pass. So
not the experience, actually, just the resources.
Oh, just the resources for Stagecoach. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's important because that's exactly what Red has done here. He's researched Stagecoach, and he's raised down Blue's stake on that line, and he's going to want to build that with his Explorer, who's busy plopping down another trade post. So Red has tons of trading posts down. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to Stagecoach the other route. Meanwhile, Blue has these 5 Hussars out that are trying to raid. And what if they catch these 4 Avis?
That'd be
a nice pickup.
Oh yeah, that actually, and only 1 Janissary popping
only
out.
One Jan,
unfortunately,
but okay, so Blue doesn't quite pick it up on it. Red's going to back off. I saw SirAllgamer while you were giving us an excellent history of Silk Trade, kind of move around the map with his Hussars, and he unfortunately he fortunately came across a couple of lone villagers, but unfortunately didn't attack them, and so that could have been a couple of villagers that he could have picked up, which would have been nice to give him, an even higher economic lead. France is technically ahead 30 to 17 in recalculated population, but if we look at the Stagecoach TPs adding 4 villagers for each, it's not quite equal, but Ottoman's getting closer in that respect.
So actually, with the Silk Road, it does go to 5 villagers each.
Although
2 of these are not a Stagecoach line, so it's
yeah.
So it'd be 28 plus 2 more trading posts. Or actually, no, this other line is Stagecoach too. So how many?
That must have just happened, because I looked at when I was saying that it wasn't. So.
Yeah, just the,
so Ottoman is kind of in the lead.
Yeah. Most of his economy is in trading posts right now, actually.
Yeah. And Blue has this. Did the native scout die? It was right in the middle of the plateau. It could have been stealth, but it wasn't. But if it was stealth, that would have been nice information.
He's got a lot of just random incidental Blue units were around. There was a yak over here that actually just finally got converted.
There was that, just kind of chilling. The idle Hussars, this CDB.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's the story behind that one, but it's actually not so bad to be there.
Yeah. So Blue is actually getting ready to age. You will have the resources any darn second now, which I like. But so is Red. I think Red is getting ready to ship 600 coin.
No, he actually doesn't have 600 coins, so he's actually not in a great position to be aging right now. I think he's trading around some resources, but I think he might be staying H2. SirAllgamer is definitely going to H3, and I think he needs to because he's got a lot of units in space right now.
600 coin does come out for red. Help a mage here. So both players are going to be hitting up the H3. Well, blue already is, but red will be following suit soon. Although blue's trying to go for timing here. The forests are coming in to try to snare. And the units are coming in here as well. You just don't necessarily want to try to take this fight while you're aging because you could have saved all these units. Yeah, he would have probably lost another house or two, but he could have gotten a much better trade, right? If he would have just kind of waited a little bit longer, I think.
I definitely agree. I think that he had this shipment already available. He's got another one coming shortly. And this fight didn't go terribly for him, but I think it could have gone a lot better. He could have done a lot of work with just a single H2 shipment and a little bit of units out of these barracks or this staple.
Yeah, he has the staple up. So like once you hit H3, you can start queuing like some Cuirassier, and like Cuirassier are going to be quite effective versus this army. Janissaries aren't like super high DPS units, and the Abus would fall to the cavalry as well. And red is really poking in here, so yeah, I was incorrect. Red is not aging. They just shipped the crates and making a mass. Just going for Jan Abus H2, which if you're France in H3, I think you're okay with because you know. I don't know. It's still so strong, and Ottoman is such a good eco at the moment. It's going to be tough.
I mean, Abus guns, they're pretty good. they're a very strong.
And this isn't necessarily the fight you want to take here.
Yeah, the 1,000 wood shipment, a little bit questionable here. I think he was housed SirAllgamer, but he has all this food stocked up that I don't know if he really needs to have this 1,000 wood. And you can see there's so many Ottoman units that this probably should have been a unit shipment instead of 1,000 wood instead.
Yeah. So like if that 1,000 wood was maybe 3 Cuirassiers or something, but
so yeah, calling GG. I think a little bit of a mistiming with the different units there. The H2 fight could have been pushed off to H3 with a unit shipment and all of that. Maybe with a veteran upgrade for the musketeers.
And kudos to Red though for really showing us I think a pretty solid strategy on Tibet. Going for the Ottoman trade post with Silk Road, and he really got quite a nice economy out of there. And it's really tough for the French player to counteract that, I think.
So Abus gun's pretty good unit. Janissary is pretty good unit. Trading post pretty good economy. Oliveza will be going up 2-0 in the series, and will be winning it. He'll be going on to face I Am Turk later on in the tournament.
That's correct. So
I think
that's
for us
all the matches we had scheduled.
I believe that's the case. So we saw Wukul versus Lucas. That went 2-0 to Lucas. He'll be going on to face Soldier in the round of 32, I think. And then we saw one game of Vikansing versus Deadly Pirate. Yes. And Deadly Pirate won, and we thought that he won the series, but it turns out that he just brought it tied. So we don't actually know the result of that. We'll let you know as soon as possible. Or you can go look it up. We're actually probably going to stop the stream. And then, of course, Oliveza versus SirAllgamer. Oliveza taking the series 2-0. He'll be going on to face I Am Turk in the round of, or actually in the placement. And then the winner of that goes on to the round of 32.
That's correct. So, thanks everyone for watching today. It's been a pleasure to cast with Duck, as always.
We all hope you have a wonderful day, and we hope that you continue to tune in for the ESOC Autumn 2018 tournament. See you all later.
Thank you.